Welcome to Monic's chat room, where real talk finds a voice and room. From love to loss and cheating hearts, we break it down, no sugar parts.
Today, I am continuing in the topic about some of the things that cause changes in a relationship, in a marriage. Today, I want to talk about erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is a situation where a man is not able to erect down below, before the bedroom dance can happen. As I mentioned in my previous video, I am a medical person as well. So this is a topic that uh, I think there's no way I'm not going to dabble into medical things if I'm going to explain it properly. And, and then to link it to some of the things that cause changes. I mean, this is, I think, to any adult, this is very obvious because if erection doesn't happen, the bedroom dance cannot happen. And in a relationship that lacks bedroom dance, is spending time in the other room, and how, I'm sure you understand what I mean. If that doesn't take place in a relationship, that relationship will eventually die off, no matter how wonderfully well you guys want, the two people involved want to hold on, it will eventually die off, if especially in cases where the erectile dysfunction is not reversible, or is, the cure, whatever input has been made to rectify it has not worked. So what is erection? Erection, first and foremost, is when the it starts basically with sensory stimulation, mental stimulation. It can be through touch or words, and then that will trigger the brain to send a message to the manhood uh, through the veins, and that will then cause a certain type of muscle. That muscle has components of spongy. It has parts of it that are spongy, so it causes it to relax and causes some spaces, and then there will be blood flow. The brain would encourage the body to have increased blood flow into that part of the male body, and erection happens. Now, how hard the erection is going to be depends on how well there's blood flow into the man's private part, or walking tool, if you could, if you would like to describe it in that way. So erectile dysfunction then is when this message is disrupted, or the message is passed through, but the blood flow is not good enough, is not as much as it's supposed to be, insufficient, I would say. So when this happens, what are the things that causes this kind of thing? When this happens, that means there's either a blockage, or there's a nerve damage. Okay, so just hold on, please. Yeah, so when there's a nerve damage, or there's limited blood flow, that's when erectile dysfunction happens. And there are some other health issues that can cause erectile dysfunction. So if you have a spouse who is suffering from this kind of erectile these kind of conditions, I think it would be good to be a bit more understanding, and if you and try not to stress them out too much, because that would not help them when you are in the other room. So yeah, so at the end of the day, the things that can cause this kind of problem, uh, not giving explicit or list, but just some of them, things like heart disease, high blood sugar from diabetes, things like high blood pressure or hypertension, or atherosclerosis. That's when there are blockage in the blood vessels, in the arteries. So these are the kind of things that can cause either partial erection or just no erection at all. And stress as well, high level of stress can also affect the message being passed, or affect um, the level of blood flow that happens in that place. So when this kind of thing, this erectile dysfunction is a problem, when it becomes a major problem, is when it's not reversible. I mean, there are treatments for it, but when the treatment is not working and is carrying on for a long period of time, then it will cause a real problem in the relationship. But the thing there, yeah, so the thing to consider is this erectile dysfunction. Did you know about it as you entered the relationship, before you entered the marriage? Or was it not there at all? And now something has happened while you're in the marriage, and it has caused this problem. I mean, that will determine how understanding a woman is going to be, I would imagine. So, if a man is suffering from erectile dysfunction and they pretend and say, oh, no bedroom dance before marriage is my policy, that's how God wants it, and you, under that disguise, deceive a woman into getting married to you, and then she finds out that this is the case afterwards, and you don't expect that kind of woman to be very understanding. I mean, you might be lucky and find the woman can be understanding and say, okay, let's treat this, what's the solution? But you wouldn't blame the other type of women who might say, look, you deceived me into this marriage, I'm not standing for this. All of us love honesty and we deserve honesty. So if you deceived someone, you knew about it, you didn't tell the person, you deceived them into marriage, presenting yourself as if you're so holy, and but you know what, you're actually hiding something like this, then you can't blame that woman for whatever reaction she takes. You can't deceive someone in that manner and expect them to be understanding. However, like I said, some women will be understanding and they say, okay, fine, we're here, let's work on it. Whichever way it goes, what all I'm saying is it can, if it causes a massive problem, you can't really blame the woman in that case. As a man, I'm sure you wouldn't want to be deceived into marrying someone, and at the end of the day, what you think is not what you're seeing, or what you are sold is not what you're seeing. Another thing to consider in this situation, like I mentioned, is, did this man have it before they got married to you? If they didn't have it, you know how he is normally, but now he's having this problem again. If it's elongated, like the period in which this problem is lasting, is elongated, it can cause serious problem. It can even break down the marriage and lead to a divorce. But in such cases, my expectation would be that the woman understands, work with the man, encourage him, because this kind of thing can really dampen down the spirit of a man, their confidence, really dampen it down and even increase their stress level. So if you are someone who knew this man before this problem started, you're already together before this problem started, work with him, give him peace, and be patient, and let him get treatment, while he's getting the treatment. But if the man doesn't want to get any treatment, maybe because they're embarrassed to talk about it, well, I don't know what could happen at some point down the line. Again, I'm not here to tell anybody to leave their marriage or stay in their marriage. I'm just talking about factors that can cause a change, a particularly negative changes in a relationship within a marriage. So erectile dysfunction is a real issue. If you are in a marriage and your spouse is going through this, like I said, how you work with him is your decision. But it would be more considerate if such a woman who knew the man before this problem started tried to encourage the man to get treatment and let that man appreciate that encouragement and actually work together to get a solution. But for those who may want to deceive someone into marrying them, and then they find out 4 months, 6 months into the marriage that this your tool is not working and you knew about it, well, as I say, it's the woman's decision as to how they handle it. But whichever won't be the case, it is a real problem. It causes change. Is a big factor that can cause a change in a relationship. So if you are dealing with this kind of a thing, please think carefully, work towards a positive result for yourself. So once again, this is Monica Ngozi. Thank you for listening to me. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. See you again in a few days.
Monic's True, your safe space, real life, real talk at your pace.